So very good morning. Yesterday we discussed the planning for security from last two classes, and we have completed some ISO 2700 series standards and some special. Now we'll discuss the NIST security models here. So NIST stands for National Institute for Standards and Technology. National Institute for Standards and Technology is another approach, possible approach, which is described in many documents available from the Computer Security Resource Center of NIST. So this National Institute for Standards and Technology documents generally publicly available, no charge for this, and broadly reviewed by the government and industry professionals. In NIST standards, generally publicly available documents, no charge for this to read, and broadly reviewed by the government and industry professionals here. So these are the following documents can assist. Can assist the design of security framework here. One is a special publication. SP stands for Special Publication 800-12. So nothing but it is used for the Computer Security Handbook, an introduction to computer security, NIST handbook here. So special edition, special publication 800-12 is an excellent reference and guide for the routine management of information security. The excellent reference and guide for the routine management of information security. Special publication 800-12 is also provides guidance on design and implementation of new security systems. So next, special publication 800-14, generally accepted of principles and practices for security IT systems here. This special publication describes the best practices and provides information on commonly accepted information security principles that can direct security team in development of security blueprint. So generally every organization needs some security blueprint for their policies, their standards, and further they conduct some awareness programs to the employees here. So more significant points made in this NIST is special publication 800-14. One is security support mission of organization. One is a mission of the organization, security support of mission of the organization, security in a integral element of sound management that includes some effective management, includes generally planning, leading, and controlling. Security is an integral element of sound management. Effective management includes planning, leading, and controlling here. Security should be a cost-effective here. Security should be a cost-effective. So cost of information security should be considered as a part of the cost for doing the business, and cost of computers, networks, and different communication systems here. This special publication A0014 assumes that external systems are insecure. So in this we can see up to 33 principles, different principles we can see in this special publication A0014, generally accepted and principles practices for the securing the IT systems. Next one, special publication A0018, which is used for guide for developing security plans, developing the security plans for the IoT systems, information technology systems. This special publication provides detailed methods for accessing, designing, implementing controls and plans for the various sized applications. This special publication provides detailed methods for assigning, accessing, designing, implementing controls and plans for various sized applications. Serves as a guide for activities. And information security planning process. So this publication includes some templates for major applications of security plans. So next, special publication 80026 here.
Ma'am, comfortable है तो इंटरव्यू रूम में आएंगे just for 2 minutes and discuss करेंगे.
Security self-assessment guide for information technology systems here. Security self-assessment guide for information technology systems here. Next publications is the NIST special publication 80030. Mainly for risk management guide for the information technology systems here, which provides foundation for development of effective risk management program. Goal to help organization better manage information technology related mission risk. So these are NIST security models, most important. You want to remember these documents, how these documents are helpful for the different organizations when they are building the policies, some standards for and security plans for their organizations here. So we have some, I'll already discussed the 14, which is nothing but publications, different publications we discussed, what it supports. And security, say IETF stands for International Engineering Task Force Security Architecture, which is nothing but Security Area Working Group acts as an advisory board for the protocols and areas developed and promoted by the Internet Society. So in this we can have RFC publications like 2196. This document is used for Site Security Handbook, which covers 5 basic areas of security with detailed discussion and development and implementation. Next, baselining and best business practices. Nothing but baselining and best practices are solid methods for collecting security practices, but provide less detail than complete methodology here. Possible to gain information by baselining and using best practices and thus work backwards to the effective design. So design of security architecture is a 3 marks question. One is the spheres of security. What is the spheres of security? So it's a foundation for the security framework. The foundation for the security framework. So we can see different spheres, nothing but different levels in the organization. It may be a software, it may be a hardware, it may be a people. So how we will provide the security for the different levels? What are the levels of controls? For what type of levels of controls you are providing for your organization? So spheres of security is nothing but foundation for security framework, tools you can say, which illustrate how information is under attack from variety of sources. The sphere of use. Okay, you can see the diagram for this. Sphere of use illustrate how information is under different attacks from the variety of sources. The sphere of use as a left, you can see left figure. Okay, the left figure you can see this one. Illustrates the way in which people access the information. So this is the information is an asset for your organization. What are the information you have is a system is asset of your organization. Networks is asset of your organization. Internet is asset for your organization. And people is also asset for your organization. The sphere of use is used to which people can access this information. So generally, example, you can take people read hard copies of documents and can also access the information through the systems. They can directly read the document in a form of a hard copy. They can access through the systems. Yes. So information is the most important asset for your sphere of center. Information always at risk from the attacks through people and computer systems that have access to the information. I say once again, information always at a risk from the attacks through people, it may be from the people and the computer systems that have access to the information systems. The sphere of protection at right you can see again. The sphere of protection in right diagram you can see. Which will say that between each layer of the sphere of use of their must exist of a layer of protection to prevent access to the inner layer to the outer layer. This sphere of protection between each layer or sphere of use, there must exist a layer of protection. For each layer, we are providing a layer of protection for information, for people. So people is also an asset for your organization generally. Information is an asset for your organization, most valuable asset. And system is also a valuable assets. Networks, internet. So for each layer, we are providing the security. For each element, we are providing the security layer architecture, security protection to prevent the access of inner layers from the outer layers. It should based on the layer of protection and control, how they are controlling your information. Example, you can take items labeled generally policy and loss, policies and loss. For information, for systems, for internet, for networks, you have some policies. Even for the people, you have maintained some policies and laws. And education and training also, which are located between the people and information. This policy and law and education and training, which are located between the people and information. Yes. Controls are implemented between the systems and information. Controls are implemented between the systems and information. Between the networks and computer systems. Yes. So controls are implemented between the systems and information, between the networks and computer systems, between the internet and internet networks, internal networks. So now we are using some access control mechanisms, layer protections for outer layers. Again, similarly for inner layers, we are providing some inner layer protections, some access control mechanisms. So this reinforces the concept of defense in depth. Defense in depth, you can say. Defense in depth. Yes. Nothing but defense in depth is nothing but implementation of security layers. We are providing the different layers, security layers for your organization, which requires that organization establish some sufficient security controls and safeguards so that intruder faces multiple layers of control. So when you want to hack the information of your organization, you want to travel for the different layers of spears here. Different layers of spear. Yes, if I want to access the information, then these are the levels. These are the different levels. There are different levels of security protection. You want to pass through the internet. You want to pass through the networks, systems, information. So different security controls I'm maintaining, safeguards I'm controlling to avoid the intruders. Intruders are nothing but opponents or hackers, you can say. So that intruder faces multiple layers of control. If you take example, firewalls, human firewalls that protect the information from the unauthorized access and use. Firewalls is acting as a security guard for your networks, for your information. Number of organizations must become safeguard, which is effectively trained, implemented, and maintained. So for this purpose, you want to train the employees for effective implementation of the design. So information security generally designed and implementation 3 layers here. One is people. Next, policies. Next, technology. Information security is designed and implemented in 3 layers. That is people, policies, and technologies. And safeguards generally provide 3 levels of control. Safeguards provide three levels of control. One is managerial. Next one, operational controls. Next one again, technical. Yes. So policies are standards which are provided by the organization, upper management, and people may be employed or unemployed, maybe both technical and non-technical technology, what you're using for your organization. Safeguards generally we provide three levels of control. One is the managerial, next one is the operation controls, managerial controls, and technical controls. So what is a managerial control? Controls cover security process. Controls which cover the security process. Managerial controls is nothing but controls the cover the security controls process. Cover security process that are designed by the strategic planners and performed by the security administration. So manager control addresses managerial control addresses design and implementation of security planning process and security program management. So manager control also address risk management and security control reviews here for the organization. This manager control covers the security process that are designed by the strategic planners and performed by the security administrators. It also address the design and implementation of security planning process and security program management here. We also address the risk management and security control reviews. Second one, the safeguard provides three levels of control. The second one is the operational controls. Deals with operational functionality of security in the organization. Deals with the operational functionality of security in the organization. Which include management functions, operational controls generally, lower level planning, incident response planning. It also addresses the personal security, physical security, protection of production inputs and outputs, provide a guide the development of education, training, awareness programs to the users as well as administrators and even the management people also. The goal of operational controls is to guide the development of education, training, awareness programs to the users or employees of your organization or administrators and even till management also. Finally, address hardware and software also, software systems maintenance. Operation controls finally address hardware and software systems maintenance and integrity of the data. Next, technical controls in safeguards. To provide the safeguards, what are technical controls? Generally, you can see address the technical implementations generally, which are related to the designing and implementation of security for your organization. So these technical controls addresses the specific of technology selection of certain components. You can see these technical controls include logical access controls such as identification, authentication, authorization, accountability. Also include logical access control like such as identification, you're giving some password, authentication, authorization, accountability. It also address the development and implementation of audit trials for accountability. These controls cover generally cryptography. Technical controls generally cover the cryptography to protect information in storage as well as in when it is transmitting. So these technical controls finally include classification of assets and users here for authorization for different levels are needed when the authorization is needed for the different levels for the organization here. So there is different layers, sphere of protection for the different levels here. You can say for information, for people, policy and laws, education and training, security planning, incident response planning, response planning, and different access controls. You can see technologies, different technologies. So every information should have some backups. Already we discussed in the previous class how we are hardening the server tips here. So you want to make the multiple backups for information. Whenever the system is crashed, your information will be lost. So multiple backups you need to provide for your information. Next, encryption. So what is encryption? So some technique to convert some coded message from plain text to coded message. Proxy servers. Proxy servers can be kept in the internet layer and network IDPs, intrusion detection systems, firewalls, host IDPs, patches and upgrades. Redundancy should be maintained for the information networks systems to provide the security or protection for your assets. Yes. So design of security architecture continues here. Defense in depth. So what is defense in depth here generally? So generally implementation of security in different layers. Implementation of security in the different layers here, which requires that organization establish sufficient controls, security controls and safeguards so that intruder faces multiple layers of controls here. These layers of controls can be organized into policies here. These layers of controls can be organized into policy, training, and education and technology as per one model we discussed in the first classes, that is NSTISSC models. It is authentication, confidentiality, and integrity models. These layers of controls can be organized into policies, trainings, and education technology as per the NSTI SSC models here. Policies generally can deter the attacks. Technology implemented in different layers generally. Implementing multiple types of technology and thereby preventing failures of one system from compromising security of information is referred as redundancy. Implementing multiple types of technology and thereby preventing a failure of one system from compromising security of our information is referred as a redundancy. So generally for defense in depth, redundancy can also be implemented throughout the security architecture, such as firewalls, proxy servers, access controls. In previous diagram you have seen already. Yes. Next, security perimeter. Point at which organization security protection ends and outside world begins generally. Security perimeter. So in previous diagram you can see here, security perimeter. It's totally a security perimeter for your organization. Point at which an organization security protection ends and outside world begins here. So it does not apply to the internal attacks from employee threats or on-site physical threats, you can see. Key components used for planning the perimeter are firewalls. One is the firewalls, DMZs, demilitarized zones, proxy servers, and intrusion detection systems. It may be host-based, it may be a network-based IDPS. Yes.